1940, there was a village in India called Mewat. It had a very small population. Only a few families used to live there. Among them was a woman who was very keen to learn black magic. After learning black magic, she became so strong with her demonic powers, she could get any work done only by thinking about it. She made herself known to all the dark seekers of the world. She was always busy worshipping the devil because she wanted to make the devil happy, so that whenever she needs the devil is there to help her. This continued for several years, and one day she herself became a demon. She used to live alone in her house, and one day she died. People started smelling something very bad. When they looked around, they found nothing. So they entered in her house, and they found her dead. She must have been died days before. People decided to bury her body at the same spot where her dead body was found. After her burial, her house was locked forever. People started hearing a scary female voice coming from her house, and also a sound as if a woman is coming out of the house. Chun, chun, chun. Soon after that, people started dying mysteriously in the village. At midnight, someone used to come and knock the door, and whoever opened the door died there and then. It was that woman who turned into a demonic witch. One after another, 11 people died. Upon inspection, people came to know that a woman appears at midnight and knocks the door, and she pulls out and eats the heart of the person whoever opens the door. The chief of the village got very worried about it. He requested a Sufi saint named Hazrat Yasin, who was known to be the best in spiritual powers. He asked him to come and help the people of the village. Hazrat Yasin was expert in using Quranic powers of light against any demonic energies. Hazrat Yasin agreed but asked to arrange all the required items, which were provided to him instantly. Hazrat Yasin also warned that in that battle between the demonic witch and him, either she would win and take him with her, or he would win and he would destroy her forever. He instructed very strictly that after the Isha prayer at night, he would sit at the gate of the village, and after that point of time, no one in the village should turn the light on. All villagers were instructed to close the doors and windows and keep dark in their houses, and never open the door upon knocking. He warned if any villager would break the rule and turn the lights on, he would risk his life and lives of the family members. As planned, Hazrat Yasin sat at the gate of the village, and all villagers turned their lights off. It was a very decisive night. A battle was going to take place between the two forces, light and the dark, and the fate of the village depended on that. Hazrat Yasin created a boundary of rounded triangular shape and fenced it using ropes of 3 colors: black, red, and blue. Once the boundary was made, he strengthened the boundary with Quranic holy water. He also dug a 6 feet deep grave and filled it with dry grass, wood, and oil, which is used for burning fire. All that had to be completed before midnight, and Hazrat Yasin made sure that he was ready to face the horrifying witch. He sat down on the red carpet 6 feet away from the pit and started reciting Quran. In the village, people made sure that all the lights were off. As it was getting close to midnight, it became so silent. Hazrat Yasin could hear his heartbeat. He knew that he had put himself in extreme danger, but with the power of light, he wanted to help the poor villagers, even if it meant risking his own life. It was almost midnight. The witch could appear any moment. Hazrat Yasin lit a fire in the pit. In the whole village, there was no light other than this pit, which had fire in it. Suddenly, it became very windy. The wind was blowing so strong that it seemed that it would take everything away with it. It became so dusty that the visibility level almost dropped to 0. Then suddenly, a woman appeared. She was very ugly and very scary looking. Her hair were like snakes coming down from her head. She was fully naked and insects were crawling on her body. Flames were coming out from her eyes and she had a dark face. As she came close to the pit, she stopped and she screamed. Her scream was so loud and horrifying that it could make anyone run away. The situation was so scary that Hazrat Yasin started sweating in a cold night. A moment came on him that he almost lost his mind with the pressure of intense continuous horror. Hazrat Yasin stayed strong. He kept reciting Quranic verses. Then a conversation took place between them, and she told Hazrat Yasin that she would kill all the villagers one by one. Hazrat Yasin asked her why she was doing that, and she said that the more people she killed, the more powerful she becomes. Hazrat Yasin gave her a chance and said to her that if she stops doing killing of the people, Hazrat Yasin could let her go, with a promise that she would never do that again. She laughed at Hazrat Yasin.
Kenapa tak tidur lagi, ha?
And said to him that he has no powers over her and he could never do anything to her. Hazrat Yasin warned her and asked her to think again, and she laughed so loud in a witchy, evil way and said to Hazrat Yasin in a very arrogant way that she would never stop killing until the last man of the village dies. Hazrat Yasin took some holy items out of his bag and threw those at her. She started burning in fire and screaming very loud in pain. Then she fell into the grave. Hazrat Yasin put more wood in the grave and intensified the fire. The demonic witch tried many times to come out of the grave, but she got trapped in it forever. She said to Hazrat Yasin that one day I will come out of this grave and I will take my revenge and kill you. She tried to scare Hazrat Yasin in any way, in every way, but Hazrat Yasin stood very strong and said, I am the soldier of Allah, and Allah gives the hardest battles to His strongest soldiers. Whenever you will come, you will find me ready. Hazrat Yasin put more wood in the grave and intensified the fire. The demonic witch tried many times to come out of the grave, but she failed. and got locked in that grave forever. It took several hours to lock the witch in that grave. Then a call to Fajr prayer was made from the masjid in the village, and a very cool, soothing breeze comforted the whole environment and filled it with peace and tranquility. All the men of the village came and gave azan standing at that grave. Then the grave was filled, and the demonic witch could never come out to kill the innocent people. For the next 40 days, Hazrat Yasin sat on that grave and recited Quran to make sure that the witch never finds a way to come out again. Hazrat Yasin advised the villagers to shift the village further away from that grave, because in the area close to the grave became inhabitable. 80 years have passed. The grave of the demonic witch still exists in India at the place called Mewat. Even today, people avoid going close to that grave, and at night time they still keep their lights off. They fear, what if at midnight someone's door is knocked?
Kenapa tak tidur lagi, ha?